So I'm hopping back on here to talk about the importance of us parents teaching our daughters the power, the benefit, and or should I say benefits of walking with a quiet spirit in public. I mean, we should walk with a quiet spirit in private too. But the reason why I mention in public, because there are so many benefits when a young lady, a woman in general, carries herself with a quiet spirit. It not only will benefit her, but it'll also benefit everyone else around her. It not only creates peace for all, but it keeps the peace. Even when there's a situation where conflict comes up. And so this is going based off of a few testimonies that I watched earlier today with the situation between Cardi B and the security guard. Now, I won't speak bad about either side, but I will say this, that had Cardi chose to just walk away from that situation with a quiet spirit, once conflict presented itself the way it did with the security guard, I'm sure it would have definitely kept the peace, and it would have also prevented them both from having to appear in court to settle a lawsuit that the security guard filed against Cardi B. And just going based off of listening to the testimonies from the receptionist that was at the I think it's a family hospital building, just by me listening to the testimony of the receptionist that took the stand, the OBGYN or male gynecologist that shared his testimony on the stand, and then the security guard's mother took the stand, the security guard's grandmother took the stand. As I'm listening to the security guard's mother and grandmother take the stand, I noticed how their stories matched up. The way that they describe the security guard. And it's understandable. They're family, so family are going to stick together. That's expected. At the same time, though, we as parents have to understand that even when we may think we know our child, inside out, we still don't know everything about our child, because it's some things that children do not share, that they keep to themselves. It's certain parts of our child that they may keep for themselves for whatever reason. And so we can only go based off of what our child shows us within the moment. even if it's happening consistently, we still don't fully know our child. So, and that's not to say that, I'm not saying that the security guard's mother and grandmother weren't telling the truth about the security guard's personality and her nature, but I'm also just stating the fact that we don't fully know a person like we think we do, no matter how long we've known them. So, but with that being said, there wouldn't have been a need to call so many witnesses to the stand in order for there to be a solid case to settle this lawsuit had both sides decided to just walk away in silence. Then everybody would have been at peace. Cardi would have been at peace. The security guard would have been at peace. The security guard's mother and grandmother would have been at peace. The receptionist would have been at peace. The male gynecologist would have been at peace. Everybody would have been at peace, including Cardi B's children. So where I'm going with this is that when we teach our daughters how to walk with a quiet spirit in public, we are teaching our daughters how to respect themselves and how to respect other people. Also, when our daughters learn how to walk with a quiet spirit, people out in public around her will feel safe around her, will feel mentally, emotionally, and spiritually safe around her as a young lady. As well as she doesn't have to worry about drawing or attracting unwanted attention, which is just to put it in respectful terms, drawing unwanted attention, especially when it's a young lady that is confident within herself, it's a whole nother level of feeling uncomfortable. So, but definitely when a young lady walks with a quiet spirit, it also influences other people around her in a positive way. It shows other people that she is secure within herself. She's comfortable with who she is. She doesn't feel the need to seek validation from other people outside of herself to make her feel important, to make her feel like her existence matters, because she already knows this. When a young lady carries herself with a quiet spirit in conflict, or whenever somebody may say something or do something that may offend her and may even trigger her to the point where she wants to retaliate or react in the same way that this person is approaching her. Instead, when she chooses to remain silent while another individual is being very offensive with their words and they're causing a scene out in public, her silence will not only keep the peace, but her silence will also expose who is the antagonizer, who's the aggressor in the situation, as well as her silence will basically do the return to sender effect, where instead of reinforcing the person's negative behavior towards her, she's sending it back to that person with her silence. Therefore, once things actually calm down, that other person that was trying their best to trigger her, to push her buttons, they're going to rethink about how they behaved towards her. And in some cases, a person may even feel shame, regret, and feel remorseful. And now that person's conscience is bothering them because here this young lady chose to remain peaceful about the situation by not saying anything. And that right there, it also will reveal to that person just how insecure that person is and how weak that person is spiritually, while it'll also reveal how strong she is spiritually. And it also reveals how much integrity this young lady has to still respect herself and respect that person enough to not react in the same way that that person did with her by walking away quietly. Absolutely. There's so much of benefits and power behind walking with a quiet spirit. And don't get me wrong, it's understandable why, a lot of young ladies feel the need to have to be aggressive and go into defense mode a lot. But in cases like that, it doesn't help the situation. It just adds fuel to the fire, and the fire can become so big to the point where it just starts to get out of control and it spreads, and it will affect other people around that young lady. Prime example, the situation with Cardi B and the security guard, because they got into a verbal altercation. Fire was being added to the fuel, and it became so large that it spread it to the receptionist. It spread it to The male gynecologist is spread it to the security guard's mom. It spread it to the security guard's grandma. It no doubt spread it to Cardi B's children. So I say this to say that when we teach our daughters to carry herself in public with a quiet spirit, not only will it keep her safe out in public, especially nowadays, because a lot of people are easily triggered by words, especially words that are very offensive and triggering, because it's a lot of people in the world that are holding on to past trauma from their childhood. And so some people have had to endure verbal abuse from their parents growing up, and it tore their self-esteem down as children, and it broke their spirit over time. So when they experience that same very situation with people that they don't know in public, all it does is it brings back painful memories from their childhood of experiencing that same very thing from their parents, and it causes them to react and want to want to fight with their words in return. But that never ends well, and it can definitely escalate to the point where it turns into a physical altercation. And the thing is, a simple misunderstanding can be easily put out with respect, even if that means that one person has to be the bigger person in the situation. That's what it comes down to. And so teaching our young daughters how to carry themselves with a quiet spirit, especially in a situation where they are interacting with another young lady that is being problematic and trying to start chaos with her. Just by the young lady choosing to not respond to the other young lady who is trying to start chaos with her. That right there, it'll definitely put the fire out. And there will be no need for the young lady to have to strike back, because the silence already did it for her. That's enough for striking right there. And then instead of all of the attention being on both the young lady that is being calm and quiet, and on the other young lady that's, being loud and want to be seen and trying to start chaos, now all of the attention is going to be on her. And it's going to cause her to feel very embarrassed and have her to do what you call self-reflection, and to no doubt not want to make a fool of herself like that ever again. Or she may even just carry on and, suppress her feelings of feeling embarrassed and just keep going to try to get a rise out of the quiet and calm young lady. Then that's definitely the time for the young lady to just walk off. Just walk away. So much power in that. So much power in that. But most of all, it keeps everybody safe. Definitely. It keeps everybody safe on every level. It'll also keep the young lady's track record clean, because her reputation matters. Why? Because her track record, that is a part of her character. So when we teach our young ladies to carry themselves with a quiet spirit, especially when somebody is trying to start trouble with them, it definitely helps keep their reputation in good standing, and it'll definitely gain her respect from other people around her. Earning respect from other people around her is worth more than gold. It really is. Her example of walking with the quiet spirit will also influence other young ladies to do the same thing. Definitely. It'll definitely cause other young ladies around her that may go into defense mode a lot and feel the need to have to speak out every time when they feel like somebody is trying to challenge them, to ask her, how can you be so calm in a situation where somebody is pushing your buttons? So, but that's all I have to share about that particular situation. As always, y'all stay safe, y'all be blessed, and I'm going to keep this series going where I will share more about how we can safeguard our children to help them grow into productive, healthy, functioning, and respectable young adults, to prepare them to create families of their own in a more healthy environment. So y'all stay tuned for more.